Hey, people! This is a video response to X4CTO, who is back, and he's back in a big way. I'm a little worried, though. I'm a little worried because you came back kind of hot and heavy. I've seen comebacks before. And the thing about comebacks is when you come back and you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then you churn out like 2-3 videos a day, and then you peter out, I worry about it. Because I've seen people peter out after like a week and a half of like the 2 videos a day thing. And I get it. Sometimes a person has a story to tell. They tell the story and that's all she wrote. Got to wait for inspiration. And I mean, if people aren't going to put up inspired content, then really what's the point? There's definitely enough people going through the motions on YouTube to go around, you know, let alone somebody who has a reputation of putting out good inspired stuff. This particular inspiration hit me when X4CTO put up a video about defensive ammunition, which I have some fairly strong and fairly established opinions on. And those opinions, I'm not gonna say it's limited to only 20 years of experience with handgun ammo, because I was shooting a little bit longer than that, you know, but specifically handguns, really my concentration is only about 20 years old on that as it pertains to carrying a handgun for defensive purposes. Now, the root of what I'm about to talk about has to do with a handgun training course that I took before I began even initially thinking about carrying. It was a very extensive course, and it was taught by an instructor that I had a great deal of respect for. He was an old deputy sheriff in our community and just a long time pillar of like the outdoors and sporting community, for lack of a better term. I'm going to combine that with some of the more recent things because I believe that our role as concealed carriers has changed since when I first began to now. The long and short of it is, when I first began that sort of thing, it had mostly to do with personal self-defense from crime. And then after 2001, the end of 2001, it's expanded a little bit, unfortunately, to the role of you may find yourself being the only person able to assist in the defense of you know, maybe some sort of a terrorist type thing, and that's a terrible thought, and I really wouldn't want to be the person to have to respond to that. But unfortunately, sometimes you're the only person that's between the wolf and the gate. Anyway, all that in mind, firstly, defensive ammo. X4CTO in his video puts up a lot of really sexy hollow points. He's got the Golden Saber. I believe you showed the Federal Hydra-Shock, an old classic. I think I saw some Hornady Critical Defense. All these are excellent rounds and reliable expanders. And that's great. That's great. But handgun ammunition sucks, period. It doesn't have the impulse energy compared to a rifle, compared to any real weapon. It's a half measure. A handgun is a half measure. So when your best tool is a half measure, in my opinion, it needs to be as effective as possible. So what makes ammunition effective? Being on target. It doesn't matter how fancy that thing expands. If you hit soft tissue like a lung, and you need a person or a target to cease what it's doing in that moment, you're not going to get that. You can shoot a target in a lung or the guts or whatever, and they will very much continue their misdemeanoring or felonizing. So, shot placement, first and foremost. What shoots good in that gun with you pulling the trigger? Maybe it's a full metal jacket, you know? Maybe it's a round that you didn't really expect. So what I was taught, and it sucks because it's expensive, is you buy every type of defensive ammunition that you can get your hands on, and whichever one shoots the best out of your gun, most reliable and most accurate with you behind the trigger, that's your pick. It's a matchup. Not because the Golden Saber looks awesome or the DRT or whatever these flying ash can, whichever one, that's great. Following that in order of priority, so you have accuracy, and then what you need to do after that is to go with a bonded round. I strongly believe that it's a good idea if you can, if there is a bonded offering in the defensive ammo that shoots accurately and reliably out of your firearm, I like to go with a bonded ammo, and that goes back to the 2001 thing. You know, we've gone from maybe not needing to shoot through a barrier to needing to shoot through a barrier. And the issue there, and a pistol sucks at this, but you need to make it through that barrier with as much retained mass of the round as possible. Now, next thing after that would be plus P. Get all the damn energy. After reliability, after accuracy, after bonded, plus P, and then go with find the full metal jacket that most accurately resembles the performance of that defensive round. Now, all that being said, you may find that the only thing that feeds reliably and accurately through your primary carry arm is going to be a full metal jacket. If that's the case, so be it, because I'm telling you, it's about shot placement. So those are my 2 cents. I'm interested in what other people's opinions are. I mean, that's just the information for me as I understand it. I'm by no means an expert. So I'm eager to hear what you guys have to say, and I'd love to get a good conversation started on this. Y'all take care.